Hello Twitch, Artemu here, and today we are continuing Pokémon Gold. Last time, we managed to defeat Claire, the final gym leader of the Johto region, and made our way to Victory Road, where we caught our final team member before facing the Elite Four. Our team is now looking much stronger than we were last time. Everyone's now level 45, except for our newest team member, Garnet, who I accidentally let evolve during my training session, so we never got to see her evolve on screen. But she is a Rhydon now. In fact, she is one of the strongest Pokemon I've got now, with just massive attack and defense. Yeah, it's definitely an improvement over our Graveler, I would say. Yeah, so I'm very happy with this. So, today, I am thinking that we are mainly just gonna have a casual time going through the Johto region and what we haven't seen yet, and also just kind of take care of our affairs before we go take on the Pokemon League. I'll probably do that tomorrow so that we can wrap up this part of our adventure, because we still got a lot to do in the post-game. So I want to get an item for Garnet to have. Soft Sand will be good. They'll really power up her Earthquake. Alright. Oh, actually, before we go on, there is some stuff I need to do considering where we are going right now. So what I want to do is I want to deposit some of my Pokemon here. I think we'll do Pompeii and Halberd, just for the time being. We'll come get these guys once we are done with this first area that we are clearing. What am I doing? Oh man, I am so dumb right now. The reason I deposited these two is because I wanted to withdraw my handy-dandy Poliwag. Yeah, I brought Poliwag because we're gonna need somebody who knows Waterfall in order to explore this area. And as for why I boxed someone else, leaving us with only 5 Pokemon, just wait and see. Hello there, Goldeen. I don't care if you're water type, because Garnet will just dominate you. Oh, that reminds me, I should turn animations back on. Yeah, I turned it off during the training session. That should be good. Because now we're going to take on Mount Mortar. This is an area that we haven't really explored in the past. This area actually has a lot going for it, but I'm explicitly want to journey to the part of it that can only be accessed using Waterfall. There are some lower floors we can explore, but they're really not necessary for our adventure here. But the upper levels actually have some pretty good stuff for us. Like this beefy Machoke. So the Pokemon in the upper levels here are actually pretty strong. You might want to consider training here. Ooh, Garnet, you were close. Luckily, Garnet has a lot of HP, so she can take this. Again, that's another good advantage to picking Rhydon over Graveler at this point in the game. Not only does it have much higher attack power, but it's also really bulky. And I really like that about Rhydon. It's a very solid Pokemon. Seems like an area where there'd be an item. Weird. Speaking of Garnet, I managed to finish up my, the picture of my full team over on the left side of the screen. I'm very proud of how it came out. Had a really lot of fun on drawing Rhydon. It's definitely a really cool looking Pokemon. In fact, fun fact, Rhydon is actually the very first Pokemon that was programmed into the Generation 1 games. And Rhydon is actually one of the earliest designed Pokemon, even before the series was officially called Pokémon. Because back when Satoshi Tajiri and his team were working on some other stuff, the series was originally going to be called Capsule Monsters. And one of the earliest designs was a very rough-looking Rhydon. It's definitely a lot more simple than the current design we have today, but you can just totally see the Rhydon influence in even later games. Since a lot of Pokemon share the same body type as Rhydon, and there's a lot of things in the game that keep referencing Rhydon as well. Like, there are various Pokemon statues that resemble Rhydon. There's the team. When you go into your teams, the little icons representing the Pokemon, many of them are represented with a small Rhydon sprite. It's really cool that this Pokemon is just so integrated into the series in that way. We just kind of see it everywhere. Even the move Substitute, which creates like a false Pokemon to like take hits for you, is modeled after Rhydon. Again, just a lot of cool stuff about this one Pokemon that most people probably haven't even used. I don't know, I like it. And then, of course, they gave Rhydon an evolution in Generation 4, which, I don't know, I'm still on the fence about, because I do like Rhydon as itself. Rhyperior is cool, but I don't know if Rhydon really needed the stat buffs that much. Whatever. Just like all the little bits of trivia going on with Rhydon, since it's a very integral Pokemon to the series. A lot more than you would expect. So today was fun. I was working this morning, and oh boy, just love it when my supervisor forgets to send me on my break until 4 hours into my shift, when I have only like a half hour left of my shift. So yeah, that was kind of not good. But whatever. It happens. Whatever. Besides that, it was still a pretty good day. Like, the weather's pretty good. It's not too hot, just had a lunch, and I don't know, feeling pretty good today. Kind of don't want to go too into what has been going on in my life just now because we're still very early on into the stream, and we haven't gotten to the main course yet. Like, I have big plans for what's ahead. Then again, given how things went in the penultimate episode of my Leaf Green series, I don't really know how long this is going to be, but we'll see. Again, Garnet's just dominating these Pokemon right now. Their stats are so good. Yeah, it was definitely a good idea to replace Ruby with this Rhydon, just because... Yep, Graveler, it was a good Pokemon, but I am incapable of getting her to her final form. I mean, I could use, like, the Pokemon Randomizer app to, like, do some stuff and mess around with the files to probably do something with that, but I don't really want to do that. I want to try and make this as an authentic experience as I can, so I don't try to, like, mess with the game files with the games I'm streaming. Except, of course, for the Legend of Zelda randomizer, because that was a fun challenge that I really like to do, because as doing that with that particular game is a really fun thing to try. I definitely had a blast doing that. I would actually like to revisit the Link to the Past randomizer. Probably do another stream of it? I don't know. Like, I've already done my stream series on that, so it would feel kind of redundant. At the same time, I don't know. Okay, so I think we jump down here, we can get to this item. And that is TM40. In recent games, TM40 contains Aerial Ace, from what I believe. So I'm not 100% sure what it is in this game. That is Defense Curl. Yeah, Aerial Ace is definitely an improvement. Again, you probably already know what Defense Curl does. It raises your defense. Not as good as Iron Defense, which I don't think is even in this game. So that's a TM that's not really going to be used. That's another problem I kind of have with the early games. A lot of the TMs stink. Like, it's not until Gen 3 when they really start to get better with the TM selection. And then especially with Gen 4 for introducing even more TMs. So they put, like, the total count to around 90. Modern games have at least 100 TMs now, which is very good. And it varies from generation to generation what the actual TMs do. Like, some moves will get switched around, some will get replaced. But for the most part, like the core TMs like Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Thunder, Blizzard, and whatnot, remain unaffected. One of the exceptions being this game, where you cannot get Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, or Flamethrower as TMs. Which is kind of stupid, because I really like those attacks. Too much? I know, I just prefer them over their stronger, but less accurate counterparts. Speaking of Pokemon-related stuff, I'm still very excited for Sword and Shield, because just from what I've been hearing from the Game Explained Twitter, or about some stuff that's going on, and I'm still really hyped for it. And I was actually rewatching the E3 Treehouse presentation on the game. Just noticing a lot of stuff, like paying closer attention to like the background music and how that plays out. I want to go down here now. And just all the things that work. It just looks so good. Here we find a dragon scale. So this is one of the main reasons you want to come in here, especially if you want to complete the Pokédex, is to get this item. And we'll use this rare candy. Why not? There you go, Garnet. Extra level for you. So the Dragon Scale is the item that you need to give to Seadra and trade it in order for it to evolve into Kingdra. It's good for Pokédex completion, and also if you want to add Kingdra to the team, because it is a good Pokemon. Man, really don't want to waste my items here. Is there anything I could part with? I don't need all these potions. Let's use them. So we're at the point in the game where we don't really need potions because they heal so little money. Right, they heal so little health. We'll take that because we could always use our PP restoring items. I want to get to that ladder, so we'll have to go back a bit. Hey, Machoke. Choke. Speaking of Machoke, I like how the Sword and Shield Treehouse event showed that in the wild areas you can encounter fully evolved Pokemon. And because they're fully evolved, that they have much higher stats than the other Pokemon that you would normally find in the wild area. So if you're in an area with mainly level 10s, you can suddenly run into an evolved Pokemon that's in the late 20s or 30s, and suddenly, oh no, my Pokemon are severely underleveled for this, which is something that I really wish they would do with the series, because it's always fun in like Xenoblade when you're just exploring around, but then you encounter like a really high level enemy, and it's just like, whoa. I don't know. Like, I know some people are still harping on about the Pokédex limitations, but whatever, I don't care. I'm just really excited to use all these new Pokemon. Like, all the starters look good. Wooloo is one of the most adorable Pokemon I've ever seen. Frickin' Corviknight is easily one of the coolest bird Pokemon we've ever gotten. There's just so much to love about the new Pokemon they're bringing into this region that I'm not really all that bothered about so many of the old Pokemon not being available at all in Sword and Shield. Like, whatever. It's not gonna kill me if Pokemon like Dunsparce or Love-Disc aren't in the Galar Dex. I'm not gonna lose sleep over that. Because whenever a new Pokemon game has a new region, I always fixate the most on the new Pokemon. Not so much how the new mechanics of that game affect older Pokemon, because I'm usually so fixated on what's brand new. I mean, it is nice to replay a game with a few of my classic favorites. Because, you know, I would like to use an Ampharos in an HD game. This is one of my favorites. Just look at her over there. She's so cute. But, whatever. I just love that red tint the screen gets when you use Sludge Bomb. It makes Tentacruel look downright creepy, like it's bathed in blood. Or surrounded by this evil aura. It's definitely a really cool looking attack in this game. In other games, Sludge Bomb doesn't really look that amazing. So I'll definitely give it props in the generation it was introduced in. That is an awesome looking attack. I know I probably never really noticed that much as a kid, because, again, I wasn't really the best at trying to finish these older games. I don't even know if I ever got the Sludge Bomb TM as a kid. Definitely did when I was older, though, and replaying this stuff, like the remakes. Because, spoiler alert, I love Heart Gold and Soul Silver way more than these versions of the Johto games. Like, they just do everything right for me. And improving the series is going off the Gen 4 engine. And just being a grand old good time. Just everything with the presentation, the Pokédex. Next, all the new stuff that was added, like the improved Safari Zone and the Pokéflon. It's just so good. I really love Heart Gold and Soul Silver. If I manage to get a 3DS capture card, I'll definitely try to get that. So we can find a max repel on that rock, but unfortunately, because of limited inventory space, we can't grab it. Is there anything else we can part with? Not really. Alright, that max repel is there if you want it. What's down here? Definitely need to store away some items before we progress any farther. Because we'll be exploring another area that'll have a lot of items. And I want to make sure that I grab all the good ones before we exit. There's a max revive. Very good. That'll fully restore a Pokemon's HP if it faints. It's a very good item. Hey there, Machop. The Pokemon right now are very low level. Let's move on without fighting them. So take this ladder here, and over here...
Hey! I'm the Karate King! I train alone here in the dark! You, battle with me! Hwarg!
Fascinating. We used to know somebody who called himself the Karate King back in Kanto. It's Black Belt Kyo. He's got a Hitmonlee. Hitmonlee, as we've seen previously, is a very strong physical attacker. Learns a lot of kicking-based attacks. Definitely a solid fighting-type Pokemon if you wish to use one. Sludge Bomb it. Very good. And now we got Hitmonchan. Another pure fighting type Pokemon with high attack power, but Hitmonchan gets the benefit of learning the elemental punches, which in this generation is actually a downside. It does learn a lot more punching attacks, should you wish it, which I guess is fine. Very good.
Hwarg! I'm beaten! I'm crushed! My training's still not enough. But a loss, I admit it. As proof that you defeated me, I'll give you a rare fighting Pokemon.
This is why I recommend having 5 Pokemon instead of 6 in your team before going into Mount Mortar. Because he will give us a Tyrogue. a pure fighting type Pokemon that has very low stats and a very poor move pool at this stage in its life. But once it reaches level 20, it can evolve into one of 3 different Pokemon. It can evolve into Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, or Hitmontop, with the different... And whichever Pokemon it evolves into is based on its attack and defense stats. If your Tyrogue evolves when its attack is higher than its defense, as you can see here, it will evolve into Hitmonlee. If its defense is higher than its attack, it will evolve into Hitmonchan. And if its attack and defense are equal, then they will evolve into Hitmontop. So it's a pretty interesting Pokemon, and how the way it grows determines which Pokemon it evolves into, which is a really cool idea. But for me, it's kind of frustrating because it means you have to keep feeding your Pokemon on a certain type of vitamins if you want to guarantee that it evolves into the Pokemon you want if you're going for Pokédex completion. And also, breeding these guys are hard because they're only males, so in order to get baby Tyrogues, you need to breed them with Ditto. So, good luck catching a Ditto for that. But with all that said, the Hitmons are all pretty good Pokemon, all things considered. In fact, before I started this series, I was actually planning on making Tyrogue my 6th team member for this playthrough. Of course, my plans kind of derailed when I ran into Pompey, because I was not expecting to run into a Magmar in this game, and yet I figured, why not, I'll roll with this. So Pompey took the team slot that Tyrogue was originally going to take. And in fact, I was going to challenge myself about trying to raise the Tyrogue up so that it evolves into Hitmontop, by having its attack and defense stats equal. Because, I don't know, I thought that would be a fun little challenge to do. But, of course, my plans got completely derailed. So, we can say goodbye to Poliwag, and we can say goodbye to Tyrogue for now. But yeah, that is the main reason you want to go into Mount Mortar. If you explore the lower floors, you can also run into a few trainers and also some items, but I don't really need them at this point, so I'll probably explore that area on my own time, but I don't want to show it off on a stream because we'll waste way too much time just blowing through there. And with that done, there's only one more area that we can go to in Johto that actually has a very big prize for us at the end. It's something that we could have done much sooner in our adventure. In fact, as soon as we cleared the radio tower in Goldenrod, we could go and do this. But I want to save it until just before we fight the Pokemon League. Just as one little extra challenge before we take on the champion and get into the Hall of Fame. Alright, I should probably deposit some items before we do this. Wrong PC. Hey. Yeah, let's put some max revives away. Let's put the awakenings away too, because we have other healing items for that. Put away the ethers, experience share, dragon scale, and elixir. So hopefully that'll give us enough space in our inventory for the items that we're going to find soon. Before we go any farther, I'll probably want to go buy some more items, because there is some... Because there is something that we definitely want to try to get. So I believe I'm going to need a flight of Blackthorn for this. Yep. Alright, I'm just going to quickly pop by Blackthorn, and then we'll go grab the items we need. I know, at first it was kind of fitting that at both places we were going to go to would involve... Oh wow, I could buy 99 right now. I'm not going to, but just saying that we have the potential to. So I'm gonna buy about 30 Ultra Balls. Because we're going hunting for a very special Pokemon. So special, in fact, that they named the game after it. Well, kinda, but you get the point. So now that we got that, it's time we head to a very much talked about, but haven't visited place.
10 towers off limits to anyone without Ekritique Gym's badge. Ah, Ekritique's gym badge. Please, go right through.
Thank you. You need to beat Morty in order to access this area, but you wouldn't be able to fully explore it until after you got the Rainbow Wing from the radio tower director. Welcome to the Tin Tower. This is one of the 2 sacred towers that once stood at Ekritique City. And the site of one of our toughest challenges that we will face on this adventure. As we're kind of going through this area, because it is kind of a long area, there's a lot of floors, I think now would be a good time to talk about some general stuff that's been going on. So let's see, there's actually been quite a bit that I've done in the last couple of days. For one, I finally managed to beat Hollow Knight. Not 100%, mind you, but I did manage to at least get an ending with it. And just, goddamn, I am glad I gave that game a second chance, because it's amazing. Easily one of my favorite indie games. Because there's so much about the game that I just love. Like, the way it's structured, it's very similar to the Metroid games, which are among my favorite games, and it's just so much to love. Like, the game is absolutely beautiful. I love the art style of the game and how everything is hand-drawn on and just so fluidly animated. I love the character designs, how they're so simple and yet so creative. The fact of the game, it's challenging, but it's not unfair with its difficulty. And it all melts together into a wonderful experience. It's definitely one of the toughest, but also just really good experiences I've had playing a video game. I just love it. I'm definitely considering streaming it. Especially if I can figure out how to get, like, the best ending for the game, because apparently there are some good stuff if you manage to get absolutely as much of the game as you can. So once I figure that out, I'll probably give that game a second chance on Twitch, because I think that'll be fun. And let's see, what other stuff have we been doing? I've been playing more Smash Ultimate with my friends over on Discord. Having a good time with that. It's still a very good game. And I'm very much looking forward to getting to play as the heroes as well as Banjo-Kazooie. Those will be good. this area is a kind of bit confusing because you got all these branching paths, and if you take the wrong path, you have to start all over. So probably want to go down here. No, wait. Wait. Yes. There we go. Takes us up here. Yeah, if you hadn't noticed, this area is very similar in appearance to the Sprout Tower we saw back in Violet City. So apparently the people who designed this area also had some work to do with the Sprout Tower. I don't know, it's a kind of neat theory I have. We got these teleporters here which take us all over the place. But we get a Max Elixir, which is a very good item, so I'll take that. As we keep moving here, what's some other stuff I want to talk about? Ooh, a nugget! That'll be very good. We can sell that for money. So you know that whole Pokemon Fusion app online? Now where it takes two Pokemon sprites and then fuse them together or to make some new abomination? So there's this been trend going around on Twitter. I mean, this was a thing many years ago, but it just like exploded again. Where people are taking the fusion generator and using it to like, say, like, hey, when you load up this app, the first fusion that gets loaded up when you boot it up is the Pokemon that you are issued by the government. And it's just so funny with the different combinations people have gone. I've actually done it myself and gotten a pretty good result myself. Alright, but we finally made it to the top of the tower. And look who awaits us. So for this guy, I want to have Jean up front. And I also highly, highly recommend you save your game. Shoo! This is the legendary Pokemon of Pokemon Gold. Ho-Oh! Based on the Chinese phoenix, also known as the Feng Huang. This thing is a beast. It's a fire-flying type Pokemon just like Charizard and Moltres. And it specializes mainly in attack and special defense. Which may seem kind of weird. In fact, it is kind of weird, given its typing, but I don't know. This is still just a very cool Pokemon. I love its design. It's hard to get from the sprite itself, but like, if you look at official art of this Pokemon, it's always treated as this very majestic entity that's looks like it's out of this world with just how beautiful it is. In fact, Ho-Oh was the very first Generation 2 Pokemon that many people have seen, because it appeared in the very first episode of the Pokemon anime. Now that we got this Ho-Oh paralyzed and its health's weakened, let's go for Ultra Balls. Oh man, if I managed to catch this thing on the very first ball, that would have been awesome. But oh well. So I'm gonna try not to use my Master Ball for this encounter because I have other plans for that Master Ball. And it does not involve free dogs that are running around the region like a chicken with their heads cut off. But yeah, Ho-Oh is just a very cool Pokemon. I don't exactly know how popular it is now in this day and age, given that there's been a lot of counters to fire flying types as of late. Looking at you, Stealth Rock. But Ho-Oh is just a really cool Pokemon. It's always one that's just really mystified me. Like, I know of the 2 legendary Pokemon this generation, a lot of people prefer the mascot of Silver, but to me, you can't beat Ho-Oh. It's just too perfect. Okay, Jean has taken some pretty bad damage here, but I think we'll be fine as long as we can get this Ultra Ball in. Nope. Okay. Another thing you need to watch out for Ho-Oh is that it does have Recover, which can use to recover some damage. Actually, with that, I can buy full restores whenever I want at the Pokemon League, so let's just use that on Jean to heal up and get rid of this burn. Just want to try to weaken this Ho-Oh again, because Recover is definitely going to be a pain. That's the main thing you want to watch out for this fight, is that Ho-Oh will heal itself when it gets the chance. Want to be careful because a Thunder Punch at this point will definitely kill. Luckily, because it's paralyzed, Ho-Oh will miss out on a lot of turns, giving us some good opportunities to get some Ultra Balls in. Alright, let's do this. And again, I went for Jean here because she is just a very solid tank. That and being able to paralyze opponents whenever she wants, it's so good. Okay, it's using Recover again. I think we can safely use a Thunder Punch. As long as we don't crit, we should be fine here. Very nice. Yeah, there's the paralysis. So we're probably gonna be here for a while dealing with Ho-Oh, so let's go over some more stuff that's been going on lately. Like what else? So after dealing with Hollow Knight a few days ago, I thought that I would probably get a new game just to keep me preoccupied with some stuff. Now, while I wait for the new big releases, like Sword and Shield and Link's Awakening and Remake on the Switch. So, in that time, I noticed, while browsing in Steam, that a game I was kind of interested in, but and didn't really want to splurge a whole bunch of money on, was on sale by like 70%. So I managed to grab what was easily a $50 game for only 15 bucks. And in case you don't know, that game was Jurassic Park Evolution. Which, if you know anything about Roller Coaster Tycoon, it's like that, except you're running a amusement park that uses dinosaurs instead of rides to draw in a crowd. And I'm enjoying it so far. It's definitely a game that I'm not that used to. I haven't really had that much experience with this particular genre of games besides, well, Roller Coaster Tycoon and Zoo Tycoon. But it's pretty cool being able to run my own Jurassic Park. Getting to resurrect all these dinosaurs, design the park to my own tastes and whatnot. It's pretty cool. Alright, let's heal up Jean here. So yeah, I'm having a fun time with that game. And I will probably get around to playing more of it after this stream. Which, I don't know, we still got a lot of time left. So I've also been watching a lot more of Luca Jin's that Pokemon Platinum series, and I'm just loving it. As the team she built right now is pretty good, and really liking her interpretations on things in the game. It's always cool to get like a fresh new opinion on the series, and I think the way she's playing through Platinum is entertaining enough where I can just casually have it on and just listen to her talk about things that are going on while I'm working on some other stuff. It's very fun. And I've also been trying to keep up a lot more with Snapcube, which was the channel that had the infamous Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic 06 fan dubs that have been just took off like a rocket across the internet. Like, I just really love those videos and the people making them. Especially Penny, like, she is awesome. It's also very funny and just a delight. I really like the content that she is making with all of her friends and stuff. They're a very nice group. Like, I try to have moments where I'm just having fun with, like, friends and stuff from my Discord servers that I am with, which is very good, to just get to interact with other people outside of, like, a work setting and whatnot. Just having fun, chilling with friends, even if we do get a bit critical at times, you know? Okay, Ho's healing up. That's still a little too weak for a Thunder Punch. Let's use Flash, maybe? Okay, it's fully healed, so now let's go for the Thunder Punch. Good on you, Gene. I also forgot going into this wild Pokemon battle that in this game, Ho-Oh was level 40, because in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which I played much more than the original Gold version, in that game, Ho-Oh and the other Pokemon are level 45 when you encounter them at this point in the game. So they are significantly stronger than anything you got at this point. Whereas in this game, their levels are on par with what we've seen from Claire, so yeah. Okay, we'll probably Thunder Punch you again. Alright, very good. Hey! Stop that, Ho-Oh! I'm trying to catch you. Gonna use Flash here to try to reduce some accuracy. Yeah, by this point it should have wasted all of its Sacred Fire power points. So it should be good. The only damage we have to worry about is from Gust, which will not do a lot of damage to Gene. And again, because it's fully paralyzed, we'll be able to just throw our Pokeballs without having to worry too much about its attacks. The only thing we still need to worry about is Recover. And should it run out of its power points, eventually we'll have to deal with Struggle, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. At the very least, I did save my game, so if worse comes, we can still make another attempt at Ho-Oh. Again, I like to put these challenges on myself when I'm doing these things about trying to catch the legendary Pokemon, because, hey, they're here, might as well go for them. But minus spoiler warning, I am not intending to use Ho-Oh. Just while its stats would be far greater than Pompeii as a fire type, it definitely surpassed Halberd as a flying type. Oh no, I'm just too attached to the team I have right now to, like, abandon one of them for this big holy chicken that we've only just met. Alright. We can Thunder Punch you again. Very nice. Come on, buddy. Speaking of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the event at this point in the game is a lot more dynamic and ties into the Kimono Girls story arcs in a way that's really cool. Like, the entire goal of the Kimono Girls in Heart Gold and Soul Silver is to try and recall the legendary Pokemon because they'll bring prosperity to the land and junk. And they deem the trainer a vessel to use the legendary Pokemon's power. So they are secretly following you throughout the game to make sure that you overcome the trials necessary for controlling such a powerful creature. And then eventually, when the time is right, they all gather together at the special areas in order to summon the legendary Pokemon and let you catch them. It's also a very cool sequence. I love the music that goes into those encounters. And as you can note out here right now, there is no special boss music for the legendary Pokemon in this game. Ho-Oh and the Silver Legendary both use the standard wild Pokemon theme, which I guess is fine for most people, but for me, you're fighting just this very powerful creature. You need something a bit more cinematic, something special to go with these Pokemon. And in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they do provide some original music to play during the legendary battles, and I think they work very well. Like, I love Ho-Oh's battle theme and how it's this very traditional, very sacred-sounding Japanese tune, which is really good. It fits the Pokemon's design and lore very nicely. Come on there, Ho-Oh. Don't you want to pull a Mewtwo and get caught very early on? We're not even an hour in. It would totally make my day if I caught you right now. It would also be funny as hell, considering what happened with the Mewtwo thing. Alright, good work. We might need to make a second attempt at this. This Ho just refuses to be caught. There goes all our Ultra Balls, so it's time we go for Great Balls. We don't have many of these, because mainly banking on the Ultra Balls to work, but let's see. Yeah, that's what I expected. There's Recover. I was wondering when you were going to use that. So now we can go for a Thunder Punch. Come on. I wonder how much PP Ho-Oh still has. Since we've had to waste at least 30 Ultra Balls, it must have... Oh, that was close. It must have used up a lot of stuff right now. What? No. Careful. Careful. I'm saving that for later. man, if that did it, if a regular Pokeball did it after I wasted all my money on those Ultra Balls, I would have been mad. So in terms of other gaming stuff lately, I've been getting back into Minecraft lately because they did an update that added a bunch of new stuff. That makes the whole thing a new experience and whatnot. I guess like there are these raid battles with enemy NPCs, which I guess is cool. I've also been doing a lot of work around my castle that I built in Minecraft, making things look nice, making things also a lot more efficient. Like, I've been trying to have, like, a garden area around my castle now. Especially because my village is now pretty much a ghost town, so figure I might as well demolish it and get started on some other stuff before, I don't know, trying some other things. Still a lot of things I need to do in my Minecraft world. Though, like, I need to find a dungeon with an end portal. I need... what else? Alright, that was my last regular Pokeball, so... yeah, I'm gonna call this run a failure. Give me a second. Alright, we're back up the top of the tower. Ho-Oh's at full health. We should be good to go. Hey there, buddy. Not gonna lie, one of the reasons I am saving the Master Ball is like on the off chance that I have to reset this fight and I run into a shiny Ho-Oh. Like, I know it's a very rare chance, but I'm still think that would be amazing. Especially because I don't really have any shiny super legendaries. Should be good. Would be very good, but I don't have any. I know I made a few attempts in Ultra Moon to try and get some of the, like... to use, like, the Ultra Space mechanics to try and get some shiny legendaries. Haven't had much luck yet. But it would be nice to try and get some. Come on, Ho-Oh. Don't you Sacred Fire me. Yeah, Jean is easily able to tank these hits. And with Sacred Fire having so little PP, we'll definitely have a good time dealing with Ho-Oh. It's going for Gust, not too bad. Come on, get in there. I know when I went for Mewtwo, like, I had my fair share of trouble with that guy too. But I also didn't spend a whole lot of time dealing with Mewtwo, even with the amount of problems I had with him. Like, if I recall, I was only like 45 minutes into the stream when I actually caught Mewtwo. But I don't quite know how things are gonna go with Ho-Oh here. The big fancy chicken that he is, just will not get in the ball, no matter how many times I say please. It's also kind of funny how Ho-Oh is typically seen as this Pokemon that has to do with, like, rebirth and new life and stuff. And it's also very much associated with Ash in the anime. Especially considering that how Ash keeps resetting, i.e. rebirthing with each new season. I don't know, I'm not going into like fanfic territory here, just my little observations. I still need to get back into watching the Sun and Moon on Netflix, cause just really getting good at the point that I last stopped at. Cause if you don't know, there is an episode very early on into Sun and Moon that deals with some pretty heavy stuff. And just, I love the whole direction of that episode. Like, it's a much more somber and serious story than we're used to in the Pokemon anime. And I love that about that episode. It just took things so seriously, but I wasn't afraid to, like, still be a good time. It was very well directed, well animated, and just the whole emotions behind the episode were just really good. And it was very good development for Litten in getting it to join Ash's team. So yeah, I really love that episode. I'm really excited to see if there are more episodes in the Sun and Moon series that are able to, like, surpass that episode for me in terms of quality. But for now, just have a good time going through Sun and Moon and enjoying its characters and its world. As I've also seen some stuff on YouTube about some of the later stuff. Like, we got the Alola League coming up very soon, and there's some hints that this might finally be the one. This might actually be the league where Ash wins. But I don't know, it's unconfirmed at this point. We might have to wait and see what happens. But one thing I'll definitely be looking forward to is getting to see Ash versus Guzma if it happens. Just because I saw a clip on YouTube about Ash fighting Guzma against his Golisopod, and just, God, it's such a good battle. I'll be really excited to see more of them in the Pokemon League, because they gotta have a rematch. It'd be good. Speaking of which, I've also been checking out a lot of Man on the Internet's Pokemon songs on YouTube, and there is one about Guzma, and it's pretty dang good. Just that whole series of videos he's doing involving Pokemon are just very good. It's got a good team behind those videos. Okay, you're a little bit on the weak side there, Ho-Oh, so let's use Fire Punch to soften you up. Alright, that should be good. Ooh, Sacred Fire. We'll gotta heal you up after this, Gene. Alright, he's using Recover. We can safely go for Thunder Punch. Alright, good work, Gene. Oh man, looks like there's something important on Discord, but I don't want to look away right now. Stay focused on the stream and on Ho-Oh. Just try to catch you. After I deal with Ho-Oh and probably clean up the rest of the tower, I'm probably going to call it after this. I mean, with the amount of time we have, we could probably take on the Pokemon League, but I don't know. We could definitely do that. But there's some other stuff I want to do today, so we'll call it after we deal with Ho-Oh. Sure, go ahead and use Recover. Go for the Thunder Punch. In terms of other stuff that's been going on... Earlier today, I also purchased Dragon Ball Super Broly, so I'll definitely want to check out that movie very soon. I've heard very good things about it from people who are like big Dragon Ball fans, so it'll definitely be good to check it out and see what all the hubbub is about. Especially because I'm not the biggest fan of the character that they bring back in this movie. So it'll be nice to at least see this new interpretation of the character. And this guy's just using Recover now. I'm curious. I don't think we've wasted the power points of his other attacks. He can't be out of Gust at this point. Like, Jean hasn't taken that much damage. And this Ho-Oh just refuses to be caught. Yeah, it's using Recover a lot. That makes me afraid. Come on, buddy. I need you to be caught. Whoop. Ah. Well, I guess that was inevitable. Jean, why'd you have to do this? Just those random critical hits coming in when I don't want them to. It's like, thanks for scoring that critical hit on a Pokemon I was trying to capture. Thanks for scoring a critical hit on a Pokemon that only had like 2 HP and you would have defeated with a normal attack anyway. Ooh, this one's faster than Jean. This one probably has a very good speed stat. I mean, it doesn't really matter what its stats are since I'm not using this thing. But whatever, it's still nice to, like, fantasize about what the Pokemon is like. Alright, that should be good. Alright, round 3 against Ho-Oh. Let's go for this capture. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was on my 3rd attempt with Mewtwo, so here's hoping. Looks like Jean could take at least one more of those hits. Come on, girl. Alright, we'll definitely need to heal up after this. We can buy plenty of full restores later, so I'm not too troubled about wasting these. Also, that's like the 4th Sacred Fire it's used now, so it's almost out. That'll be good. Why'd you have to burn us again? Alright, this thing has at least one more Sacred Fire, so we got that going for us. Come on. Good hit, Gene. Ow. We'll definitely need to heal up. Heh! Nice. Also, that's Ho-Oh's last Sacred Fire. That is not nice. How dare you do that to my sheep? Yeah, you go ahead and use Safeguard. It's not gonna save you from this. Unless Safeguard does actually boost the capture resistance here, but I don't know. I don't think it does that. So going back to some games right quick, I've been putting a lot of games on my Steam wish list for the time being that I'm interested in streaming in the future. Especially the near future, because I can see Gold wrapping up in a few months, and then we can move on to other game series besides Pokemon. So I think that'll be fun. So one thing I definitely want to do is to get into the Shantae games, since those are games I've heard about for so long, but I've never actually played them myself. But it's a very beloved series, so I'll definitely want to try them out. Yeah, we got him! At long last! See, what I tell you, it's always the third attempt. Ho-Oh, the rainbow Pokemon. Legends claim this Pokemon flies the world's skies continuously on its magnificent 7-colored wings. That's a lie. Your wings are red, white, and green. You are the Italy of Pokemon color schemes. While we're at it, let's name Ho-Oh. It's a very sacred Pokemon. It deserves a powerful name for it. You know, Ho-Oh's design, it is based on a phoenix, but it's also very similar to a peacock. So let's name you Shen, after one of my favorite Kung Fu Panda characters. Just, I love that guy. And with that, the legendary Pokemon has been caught. We yeeted him into our Pokeballs at long last. Hello there, item I missed. Full restore, very nice. Alright, so let's backtrack for the tower a bit, see if there's any more items that we missed. And then I'll probably head on over to the... Actually, I'm probably not going to go to the Pokemon League right now. I'll do that off-stream, just so that everything is set up for tomorrow, when we'll take on the Pokemon League at long last. Alright, that takes care of the Tin Tower. Also, extra bit of trivia, this place is known as the Bell Tower in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Also, we only saw Rattata on the way up here. At night, you can also encounter Ghastly. That's another bit of a hint for you. But with that, we are pretty much done with the Johto region for now. There's still the Whirl Islands that we haven't explored, but we're going to save that until very late into the game. So, we'll save that for a later date. Now let's go take a look at Shen and the PC, and then we will end things. Yeah, as you can see there, Sacred Fire, it's a very strong move, but has very little PP. Also, look at them stats. It's a very good attacker, has some good bulk to it, it's all around very good. Man, we've caught so few Pokemon during this game, especially compared to Leaf Green, where we had to catch Pokemon for the special rewards we got throughout the game, and also to access post-game stuff. But, whatever. Excuse me, but you are kind of on top of my stat screen there. Okay. But with that said, I think we're gonna call things here. So join me tomorrow when we finally take on the Pokemon League and finish up this chapter of the Pokemon Gold Adventure. Until next time, have a great day and take care!